Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is JupiterJames, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little motivation and advice per your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads and I this and I that, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly what the universe wanted from us. And it is with that language that we were able to look up at our birth charts and understand the assignments that we've been given. That way we got to our dreams further and faster. And so I'm just here on the internet and on YouTube to remind you of the innate knowledge and the innate gifts that you already know and that you already have. That way we are all able to get to our dreams further and faster. So if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Today we're going to get into Uranus in the 7th house. Now this is going to be somewhat of a tricky placement because although you relate to people, you relate with people in a very distant manner. You know, you love intellectual relationships and people who give you a sense of freedom, you know. And how do you relate with people but you don't want to be with people? How is that like possible? Well, we're going to break it down and we're going to get into the aspect. Before we do, let's go ahead and break that aspect apart. That way we are better able to do with the separate parts of the aspect. That way we're able to not only understand it more, but able to do more with it. That way when we see Uranus playing out in the world or in our friends, we're able to see it and understand it. And when we're able to see 7th house playing out in the world and on television, we're able to recognize it and understand it, okay? So when I see Uranus in the birth chart, Uranus in the birth chart for me as an astrologer is always going to point me to the unique streak of the person. You know, it's going to show me where this person may take on rebellious qualities and their unique individualistic genius that they find that they do in this placement wherever Uranus is pointing to. You know, it's that thing that they go, okay, I know everyone is doing it this way, but I'm going to do it that way. You know, that's what Uranus is going to point to in the birth chart. It also shows me the spontaneity and the changeability forces that are out of your control in the birth chart. You know, what these are like the things that just happen suddenly, or the changeability forces in the birth chart, you know. So now with the 7th house is ruled by Libra and it's ruled by Venus, and Venus is going to be taking the approach of person-to-person relationships and partnerships, okay? Whenever I see the 7th house, I always think of the handhold emoji. I always think of this emoji for some reason. I don't know why, but that is what it is. It's how you relate and connect with the world around you and the world at large. Like, yes, you may be a Cancer, but you have a Capricornian flair in the way that you relate with people, you know? And it's how people relate with you as well. So yeah, this is going to be that video, and this is what we are going to be talking about themes of. The 7th house is all about partnerships, marriage, and how you relate with the world, okay? Now, this also sometimes could be your business contracts as well, like what you find yourself being when you sign on the dotted line for your contracts in your business or your business partnerships. Now, because marriage is a business, you know, marriage is a very important business contract. It's a business, it's a joint venture. It is not something that you just do. Marriage is a business venture. So that is what the 7th house rules. Now, what happens when we take the rebellious, individualistic, inventive, genius planet and we put it into the 7th house? This is going to mean that for you, this is going to take on a very Aquarian flair. Like if you have Aquarius in the 7th house, it's going to give you that flair. Or even if you don't have Aquarius in the 7th house, it's going to give you that flair like you have Aquarius in the 7th house, okay? So this is going to give me someone who, you know, they want to do something or be seen to the public or to their friends or the people that they relate with. They're going to want to be seen as someone who is free. They're not going to want people to tell them to like be on time or to do this or to that. You're gonna want someone who, like, people who allow you freedom, all right? You're not gonna want people who need you. You're gonna want people that want you around but don't need you around, because when people need you around, it puts pressure on your Uranus, and Uranus is going to be like, I don't want to go. I'm not doing that. Like, you're gonna like people who are individualistic in their own right because they allow you to be individualistic in your own right. And you probably really enjoy intellectual friendships, people and friends who are very smart and take a more intellectual approach. People who can talk about anything and everything under the sun. You really, really like that, and you like that very genius level friends or people who are very bright in their minds. You know, you really like relationships like that. Now, when it comes to your romantic partners or the marriages that you seek to create, you really want people to take on the same kind of flair. You are gonna want people who want an unconventional relationship, whether it be an interracial relationship, whether it be a gay or bisexual relationship, whether it just be something that is very spontaneous or polygamy driven, or whatever your relationship is, it's going to be very much where the person that you get involved with is going to allow you to be you. You are an institution on your own. You have your own autonomy and your own rights, and you can get up and go when you please, and they can get up and go when they please. You may love open relationships, or people who allow just the space for an open relationship to take hold. You are not going to like rules when it comes to relationships. You are not going to like categories and boundaries and people who stifle you or make you feel like you can't do something. I'd say the way to satisfy that is to find a partner who says you can do whatever you want, and I guarantee you won't do anything. But it's just that they give you the permission or keep the air of just like, look, you are you, I'm me, we love each other, we trust each other, you can do whatever you want. If you have and you find a partner that's like that, they will be perfect for you, because that's going to be the type of person that, you know, the trust is there, but there are no bounds on you, and that is going to make Uranus feel a little less pressure to go out and cheat, because you could be susceptible to that, whether they cheat on you or you are cheating on them. Uranus is going to want to find ways to rebel when it comes to partnerships, and you could be the same way when it comes to your business partnerships. When it comes to your business partnerships, you're gonna want to keep things very casual. You're gonna want to keep things very tentative. You're gonna want to keep things very what did that old company that I used to work for, they used to say, it was that you're gonna want to make things, you are an at-will employee when you sign your contracts. You're going to want to be an at-will employee, meaning if you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. You are not tied to this. You are not bound to this. Those are the type of contracts, business partnerships, and marriages you are going to want to be in, is where people allow you the freedom to be you. And in all senses of the word, whether that be in partnership, in your expression, in your individuality, in who you are going to want to be around people who allow you to be you without any bounds or constrictions, because the minute that happens, you are going to rebel. You're probably what I would probably like to call a very headstrong individual. You are probably very smart and very bright, and people can smell it on you that you will not be controlled, you know? So this could also give that effect where people may be scared to approach, people may be scared to get into business with you, people may not know how to rein in all that freedom because they just don't know how to do that, or they're not down with that. They don't know how to get on board with that, so they leave you alone. You know, that's why I say this takes on an Aquarian flair, because there's this block, there's a blockage there. It's not like you can't get along with anyone, and I'm sure you can get along with everyone, but it's just there's a blockage there where people can see that you are free, and sometimes people don't want to impede on that freedom, or people don't know how to rein that in. And there's also a layer to you where you could be a little bit emotionally distant, where your emotions aren't very cavalier, I hope that's the right word, where you don't really show your emotions or show your cards. But if people were to come to you and ask you, hey, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, that would be the perfect way to get on board with you. You know, like you're very intellectual, and that would be the best way to relate with you. If this sounds like you, can you let me know if this sounds like you at all and what I'm saying, you know, because I'm just behind my camera and behind my books and my computer doing my research, and I would just love to know if out in the real world this is taking place for you. Are you someone that attracts very sudden relationships with these crazy characters that just come up? Are you someone that also attracts people kind of like you, who don't want labels, they don't want to fit in a category? You have friends and relationships with people who are very eclectic, very diverse. Does this sound like you? Do you get into a lot of situationships growing up? Did you get into a lot of weird occurrences in your love life where you don't really know where you stand with a person, where it's like, I'm in a lot of situationships, I like this person, but we never really express to each other what's going on? because we don't want to make either of us run away, but we know we get together from time to time and we really like each other. Like, that could be you, where, and then all of a sudden at the drop of a hat, they leave, or you leave, or something happens and they're gone. And then 2 months, 3 months goes by and the same character, just in a different body, comes suddenly, and now you're back in this whirlwind again. Do you find yourself in relationships like that? If that sounds like you, let me know in the comments below. And also, while you're at it, let me know the sign that your 7th house Uranus is in, and that would help me, you know, better able to zoom in on your exact unique placement, okay? And I can write back what you could be experiencing with that. But yeah, with this placement, the best advice that I could give is to own your individuality. You know, you are meant to be someone that is very solid on your own. You are a very solid individual, and your mind is of value. Who you are is of value, and that will be the best way to extend the olive branch to someone else, is in who you are as far as your individuality. If you could provide a service for people within how you are an individual, or if you could bring your ideas to the table with other people, that would help be the bridge to bridge that gap. You know, always be someone that is talking and intellectualizing and being a force for inventiveness in your partnerships, and that would better help bridge that gap, you know, because without that, your emotions aren't very easily readable and people don't really know how to approach. And so Uranus will begin to take the energy where people kind of repel from you because they don't know how to approach you. So you may have to be the one to bridge that gap, to let people know, it's okay over here. I know I'm fun, wild, and free, but I'm also cool, and I do want you here. Sometimes you may have to let people know, hey, I like you, you're good, stay, because otherwise Uranus makes people want to feel like that they are invading your space, and so they need to leave, you know? So don't be afraid to let people know, no, you're good for now, everything's good, like, you can stay, otherwise people don't know. But you are gonna take on a very freedom-driven approach in your relationships, and I know that's kind of paradoxical, right? Like, how do I be an individual and free but still have relationships and still be with people? It just is what it is. There is a way. If Uranus has found a place in the chart, there's a way to work it out. It may be a very hard puzzle to remedy, but what I do know is that you need to find yourself in relationship with other strong individuals who don't need other people, and also in strong marriages with strong individuals who have their own life and their own things going on. That way they are not all up in your zhuzh and asking you where you are going and what you are doing all the time and what the no, like, you need to find yourself with strong intellectual characters. Go after an Aquarius, go after a Gemini, go after a Sagittarius, go after those types of people who are intellectually driven and very airy but don't need relationship. And not that they are people who you'll be vying for their attention, it's just when they sit at the table, your Uranus won't feel like their energy is trying to hook you in and control you and make you, it's just free. And that is how your Uranus will be satisfied, is amongst people who are free and casual. When we keep things free and casual, we can get along and we can actually be in partnership now, because you don't need me and I don't need you, and we're just having a good time intellectualizing the moment, and we're coming up with a new idea on what we need to do, and we're good. That's Uranus in the 7th house. And so I really want to motivate you and maybe encourage you to just really be okay in your individuality and in your alone time. I don't want to say in your loneliness, because being alone and lonely are two different things. I want you to be okay being alone and okay being an individual. I want you to cultivate your hobbies and cultivate your style and cultivate what you like and what you enjoy, and that will be the times that people are attracted to you the most, is when you show up completely yourself and you don't need anyone, and that's when everyone's gonna want to be around you and need you, and that is when you'll be able to bring things to the table of enlightenment as far as your brain and your intellectual properties, because you are a very smart person. With this placement, I'd say that when Uranus touches Venus, it's gonna be that you're gonna attract a lot of eclectic people, and that's a very cool placement. You're gonna have friends from all walks of life, black, white, purple, polka dot, green, old, young, you know, from here, from there. You're gonna have a lot of relationships, and they're gonna maybe be far away and distant, but know that that is how it's supposed to be, and I want you to be okay with that. Don't be resistant to that. Lean into that, and that is when the energy will help you and make things a little bit more cavalier. I don't know why that word is on my brain today, but it is. But I really hope that this video helped you and inspired you, encouraged you in what you needed. If you guys want me to do any other videos per your unique placement within your birth chart, write down what video you need and I will try to put that in my queue for what I'll do next for you guys. But I will see you on the next one, and I will sign out now. Bye. Bye.